is Motorsport Radio. Join the conversation and have your say on motorsport-radio.com. Motorsport Radio. The Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio.
Hello and welcome. This is the Superbike Show. This is Motorsport Radio. My name is Lester. Thank you very much for tuning in. Well, we're back and yes, we're live once again this evening. It's currently a Thursday evening and it's currently just after 8 p.m. And if you're listening to us right now live on social media, you can send us a little comment. Just let us know how you're doing this weekend. So, what's your week been like? Mine's been pretty interesting. Tell you about it later. We've managed to get the Motorsport Awards launched. Tell you about that later. Been an interesting week in many regards. But yeah, let us know what you're doing in the next, I suppose, week or so. Are you doing anything motorsport related? Maybe you're going to Macau. Are you planning already to get your tickets booked, hotels prepped for next year's BSB calendar? Let us know because well, we're nosy, really, and we've got a couple of hours to talk about these sorts of things, and to talk about it with us. Well, we've got for this evening anyway, we've got a brand new guest. Anyway, we'll come on to him in just a moment. But as ever, as usual, as quite normal, it is Mr. Kiko Giles on the line. Hello, good evening, Kiko.
Good evening, nice to see you all, nice to hear from you all. Let's get on with a brilliant show. Lots of news to come out, and most of it, can you believe I'm saying this? World Superbikes. It's basically the talk of tonight's show. We're talking, for most of it, about World Superbikes. A couple of rider lineups have been announced already, a couple of major changes in manufacturers and teams. We've got the normal MotoGP news to get to. There's quite a lot of that in Moto2 and Moto3, but it's going to be a busy show, so we best crack on with it very soon. Yeah, certainly. And also big breaking news this evening in BSB. Shall we get to that first? We shall indeed. The news is that EverQuip Racing will withdraw from the British Supersport Championship and not race in that championship in 2019. From what we know, everyone is still friends and all good, and the team is 100% going to be on the grid at some point next year in another class. We don't know what class. We don't know whether they're stepping across two National Superstock Thousands or into British Superbikes into the main class. Exciting times, nonetheless. I suppose, yeah. It seemed a little, I suppose, whenever you hear those words that a team is pulling out, can be a little alarming. But yeah, so that'll be interesting. And we have already attempted to reach out to the team for a comment. But this news, I think, it was just breaking very soon. So yeah, and also as well, we might be hearing now. We've been hearing about some rumors online as well about a big announcement in BSB, not other than what we just told you, but actually in BSB, coming almost as soon as tomorrow morning. So if you have an idea what that might be, we're keen to hear it. The big other news we'll get onto in just a moment, but I did tease about another person who's not Kiko himself coming on the show. The last time this actually happened, I think it was Ed Hocknell who was on the show, I think, way back when, last year or something. But anyway, please welcome onto the show. It is radio presenter and, I suppose, journalist and motorsport enthusiast. It is Liam Hodgson. I've already messed your name. Sorry.
Oh, you're not the only one. It's okay. Hodgins it is. But
Liam Hodgins.
Liam Hodgins. If you want to throw K in there, that's okay. We have that as well, so it's all good. But I'm super excited. I'm so glad to be on the show. I cannot wait to get in and all about the motorsport, the MotoGP, World Superbikes, British Superbikes action. It's going to be great.
So I suppose a lot of people just wondering, well, who are you, Liam? Where are you from? We notice a bit of an accent. What have you been doing before, and why are you on the show?
Yeah, well, so I'm from Glasgow in Scotland, and it's a little bit wet up here at the moment, so fingers crossed wherever you are, you're having a much better time of the weather. I know it's night time, but fingers crossed it's all good. But I started off doing a podcast called Moto View with some other person that's on Motorsport Radio now, Alex Cormack, and I was lucky enough to get invited onto this, and I've done a little bit of radio in the past as well, worked for some of the biggest stations in the country. So yeah, just bits and bobs here and there, and now I'm on Motorsport Radio, which is just great. Cannot wait.
Well, as you can probably tell, anyway, I'll describe it for people who who can't actually see. But Liam he's got quite a big microphone in front of him, which might give it away that he's a bit of a radio guy. So
a radio geek.
Here we go. Let's gang up on the amateur one in here.
Whoa! I never said anything. That's just you.
Okay.
That's just you.
Anyway, we've got MotoGP news, Lester. Please carry on.
Then. Okay, so good to meet you, Liam. Do join in with the conversation and feel free, please. God, feel free to disagree with any of the nonsense that Kiko comes out with tonight.
I love to disagree.
So then, on with the big news then in MotoGP, Kiko.
Yeah, maybe not the biggest news in the motorsport industry in MotoGP, but Bradley Smith, we know he's a prettiest test rider in 2019, but he's also joined the One Energy Moto E team as well. So some news there. Is it news? Does anyone really care about Moto E? Who knows? Be interested to see how it goes. A couple of names in there now. The SIC Yamaha team are to be partnered with Petronas. That was announced at the Shell Advance Malaysian Grand Prix. So anyone who understands Malaysian petrol stations, Petronas and Shell are pretty big rivals. So that might have not gone down too well with Shell's sponsorship team. Other news in MotoGP, Indonesia possibly looking to finally come back on the calendar. There's a lot of news about a circuit being built in Palembang in Sumatra. Doesn't look like that's going ahead because it's going to be too expensive. And the Central circuit, of which there's been used before in the late 90s for MotoGP and World Superbikes, that needs huge renovation, and that looks a bit costly as well. So apparently it might be a bit cheaper to build one from scratch in another part of the island. Or another rumour was to have a road race. Can't quite see that one working out. But, Lombok Island and Mandalika for a proposed motorcycle event. There's no specification on would it be Grand Prix, would it be World Superbikes, but we know they're pushing for one over there in Indonesia. The manufacturers are really pushing for an Indonesian Grand Prix no matter what cost. So it's going to be in the main tourist complex, which has already got museums, hotels, bars. It's already well catered for a major event. I think it's in a 1,175 hectare piece of land, so it's got a bit of room for a GP circuit, and I think it might go down well. Bearing in mind though, Lombok just was still recovering from a terrible, devastating earthquake, but the other venue is Bali, so no introduction needed for that party island. So
an interesting
stuff in Indonesia. Last bit of news, it only broke about 6 hours ago. Harsher fines going to be introduced for excessive speeding. So if you carry on offending, or if you offend quite a lot, as in you're way over the pit lane.
Yeah, but what is excessive though? I mean, there's speeding and there's excessive speeding.
Exactly. Dorna will want to leave it open to their interpretation because, of course, 3 years ago when Valentino Rossi got his points knocked up for his tangling with Marc Marquez in Malaysia, the first thing they did was abandon that points strategy. So what they want to do now is have a little bit more control and interpretations of what they believe is wrong. But either way, harsher fines for speeding, higher fines and or more penalties for excessive or repeat offenders.
Interesting. Liam, Going back to Indonesia at the, where did you say it was, Kiko? The something or whatever?
Lombok Island in a small part of that called Mandalika.
Okay.
Sounds like a beautiful place.
I'm sure it is. I trust Donna to only go to the best places, the finest
Absolutely.
places. What do you think about that, though? Is it good that MotoGP or that the circus is going back there? What?
I think it's an absolutely brilliant thing for Dorna and MotoGP to go back there, because you can look at the success that MotoGP had in Thailand this year. The motorbike community is excelling over there at the moment. They went over there this year and it just drew in some of the biggest crowds we've ever seen. So going back to Indonesia, I think, because it was quite big in the late 90s in the Central circuit. Unfortunately, that circuit isn't too great anymore. But Lombok, Wee Island, I think it could produce some great revenue for the total area, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be an amazing circuit as well. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. Fingers crossed it does happen.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts if you have any at all. Get in touch with us tonight. We are live on where are we? On the Facebook, Twitter as well. I think I've not checked, but I think we're live. We're also on the website, of course, motorsport.radio. What, don't you mean .com? No, motorsport.radio. And we are also on, that's also where you can tune into us visually as well, and maybe even watch the show, or even watch it back anytime you want, because we're doing all this in audio and vision and everything, basically. You can check out or get in touch with us basically anywhere. And even if we're not live and you're tuning into us somewhere else at a later date, we still like to read your comments anyway. By the way, Kiko was talking crap, by the way. I just want to add a point in, actually. I do want to add a point in that's going to support Liam's theory of it's going to work well. I know it's a Superbike show. I am actually going to, for once, talk positively about Formula One. They've just announced they're going to Vietnam in 2020. So regionally, Southeast, Far East Asia, starting to become way more into motorsport. Not quite sure Formula One is going to be in the average Vietnamese person's household income price for a ticket. But it might go down well. We don't know. That's a new street circuit in Hanoi, I believe, so in the north of the country. So not quite Southeast Asia, but in a Southeast Asian country nonetheless. I think it looks very exciting. So if you've got Formula One going over there, so MotoGP needs to follow that, because they'll just end up falling behind if they don't. So MotoGP going over there to Indonesia and following Formula One wherever they go. So maybe they'll go to Vietnam someday soon, and it will just be fantastic for the sport. If not, then MotoGP already has the Malaysian Grand Prix, the Thai Grand Prix, and hopefully the Indonesian Grand Prix, 3 Grand Prix of which Formula One doesn't have. And in fact, it probably would have had the Malaysian Grand Prix had Formula One not got greedy. So, MotoGP conquering the market. Nice to see you keeping it positive. Well, but, like I say, I'm going to talk positive for a little while. Positive. Yeah, until we get to another World Championship. Anyway, so Moto2 news then. What's the latest? Joe Roberts, there's loads of signings, so you're just going to have to keep up with me and watch the show back. We've got to move on quite quickly. Joe Roberts is at the SII, which is a Swiss innovative insurers. That's easy for you to say. KTM team with Iker owner in 2019. I was going to go and put my teeth in. Fabio Di Giannantonio is at Speed Up alongside Jorge Navarro, and Nea Bastianini has joined Italtrans with Andrea Locatelli. That's your Moto2. In Moto3, Philip Salak is replacing Marco Bezzecchi at the Prustel GP Radox KTM team. Darren Binder leaves Red Bull KTM IO, the factory KTM in inverted commas. He's going to the CIP Green Power KTM team. Aaron Canet leaves the Estrella Galicia Mark VDS team. He's going to Max Biaggi's all-new Moto3 team, of which we do not know what it has as a name. And Canon Chu makes his Moto3 debut with the Red Bull KTM team in 2019. So in a smaller classes, it is all change. And quite honestly, it's not major changes, but a couple of people stepping up, Fabio Di Giannantonio and Nea Bastianini. Joe Roberts on a competitive machine. I don't think we've got him for a bad Moto2 year next year at all. I completely agree with that, because obviously we're going to Triumphs next year and it's all changed. So the running order, the top teams might struggle with what's going on next year, and then you've got the new people coming. Fabio Di Giannantonio, I'm so looking forward to see how he gets on, because I think he's one of the most exciting riders to watch in Moto3, and also Marco Bezzecchi. Just cannot wait to see what those two can do in Moto2 next year. Well, what's the most exciting thing then, Kiko, from the list that you've just read out? What are you most looking forward to? I must admit, I'm excited to see how Joe Roberts goes, because it's the first time really we've had an American rider on a competitive bike in any class of MotoGP since Nicky Hayden back on a Honda. So Joe Roberts flying the American flag, and the only rider seeming capable to do so at the moment. PJ Jacobson's lost his ride in World Superbikes. There's no one else really coming through, so really you've got to look towards Joe Roberts, I feel. The other option for me, if I was to say the other most exciting, I don't think I'd disagree with it being Fabio Di Giannantonio. 2 wins in Moto3. He's hardly done a lot in terms of wins, but he's always front runner. He can always pull through a pack, and it'll be interesting to see how he adapts. Keep an eye on him at Mugello. That's where he broke his duct at Moto3 level. So, yeah, Di Giannantonio and Joe Roberts. Keep an eye on them too. Exactly. And your thoughts, Liam?
Yeah, as I said, Fabio Di Giannantonio. The one that really sticks out for me is going to be Chan On-Chu. I watched him in the Red Bull Rookies the last 2 years. He wiped the floor with everyone in the second season, and he is someone that's going to be a big star of the future. I'm quite surprised that his twin, Dennis On-Chu, isn't confirmed with the Red Bull KTM squad, so I think they might just be running one bike next year again, like they did with Dan and Binder this year. So I don't know, it could be, we might hear that Dennis On-Chu might be coming up to Moto3 next year as well. Fingers crossed, because those two twins are outstanding, especially Chan.
Yes, I concur with those things. Let us know your thoughts if what you think of Mr. On-Chu. Is that his name? I don't know.
Chan On-Chu. I think maybe Chan. I'm not sure.
Well, if you say can, and if you're on about last lap scrap and someone says, can On-Chu make it to the final corner in the lead? You think, oh, hang on. Does he
I love a fun.
Yeah, anyway. So let us know if you have any big opinions on Moto2 goings on, or even people coming in or out, or going out of Moto2, or anything like that. On to other news, World Superbike related. Liam.
Yeah, so World Superbikes there's a lot of news about World Superbikes this week. Tom Sykes, who had been out of a ride at Kawasaki after Leon Haslam took it, is now going to be spearheading BMW's factory return, with Motorrad returning with the Milwaukee factory, and Reiterberger is going to be his teammate. So that is going to be, BMW have just launched their new bike, and it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Honda are making a full factory return. Tenkati are out. The full factory Honda are back for the first time since 2002, when Colin Edwards won that famous world title against Troy Bayliss. So Camir and three-time BSB champion Ryoichi, can you say it right? Ryokyo Kiyonari's back in World Superbikes. Yeah, so that's going to be exciting to see what he can do. I'm not too sure if that's probably the best shout, because, for example, you've got Eugene Laverty who's looking for a ride. That could have been great for him. Raz Gatioglu is injured in the off-season, collarbone and right foot, so fingers crossed he'll be back in time for the season off in February. But Ben Curry and also Glenn Irwin have been out testing in Spain with the GG Speedfit Kawasaki.
That's
Glenn Irwin saying he's enjoying. It's in BSB, yes.
Yeah, you gave me a heart attack then. I thought we were off to World Superbikes.
No, not off to World Superbikes. So they've been out in Spain testing at the moment, and Glenn Irwin's been posting on social media that he's loving the new challenge, but it's been a bit challenging trying to adapt from a V-twin Ducati to a four-stroke again.
Bet it is, yeah. Well, incidentally, by the way, we would like to see maybe both of them, Ben Curry and Glenn Irwin, in World Superbikes. Could happen. You know, they're not immune to the old one-off wild card ride in World Superbikes. They're the old JG Speedfit team, and so you know, so interesting.
And let's just remember that World Superbikes needs an Australian, Ben Curry. Needs a fast Australian, Ben Curry. So, you know, your answer lies there. Who knows, maybe a little pre-season outing in Phillip Island might go down relatively well.
No pressure.
I'm still praying for the fact that Casey Stoner might just have that wee urge just to come back and hopefully be the first person to win a MotoGP title and a World Superbike title. He'll never come back, but we always have that hope. So
he's unfortunately, he's got used to just he's basically the Jacques Villeneuve of bikes, really. He's just happy to sit on the sidelines, knowing that he could probably do a decent job if he came back, but he just chooses to just sit on the sidelines and slag other people off and not prove it himself.
Well, he did that in the sport anyway, so for me, I wouldn't welcome him with open arms, but that's just me.
Interesting. So, Kiyonari, Ryuichi, the Ryokyo, as we're calling him, in some parts of Scotland. Is that a good decision then, Kiko?
Yeah, it's a very clever marketing point of view. Honda traditionally always liked a Japanese rider to be in a World Championship team, whether it be World Superbikes or MotoGP, but there's been no fast Japanese riders for a couple of years. But Takaki Nakagami joined a HRC-supported MotoGP team alongside Calcutta LCR Honda, and now there's no other real fast Japanese rider, so Kiyonari is the man. I also think Kiyonari, with the right testing, the right bike, and the right circuits, probably might well be a front runner. Now, that he is fast. We've seen him do tremendously well at the Suzuka 8 Hour. He's been to more or less all of the circuits on the calendar before. We'll come on to the World Superbike calendar a little bit later on. But he's been to most of them before. Leads me to believe that Honda knows something we don't, and that might be that he's tested an awful lot on a proper HRC-backed Superbike. And that would be an absolute thrill to watch. Someone take it up the front end to this World Superbike Championship. Alvaro Bautista has already joined the party to challenge Jonathan Rea. We've got Tom Sykes moving to BMW, as Liam has already gone through. Now we've got Chianari at Honda, and we've still got riders like Eugene Laverty and Xavi Forés with no ride. So World Superbikes in 2019, we said it would be back in 2018. We were halfway there. It's got better, but 2019 looks like it's setting up to be a bit of a classic.
What do you think then, Liam? Do you agree with? I mean, is it definitely heading in the right move? Is it on the brink of being great again?
I think this is a great move by World Superbike to attract the factories back, because you've got Honda coming back and BMW, and obviously we've got the V4 Ducati coming back next year. I think people are just seeing Jonathan Rea run away with World Superbike so much at the moment that they really want to stop that from happening. Someone's got to do it. Some say it is getting a little bit boring. I think that's why some people maybe turn off. We've also got 3 races next year, the Saturday race and the 2 Sunday races. But coming back to the factory Honda, I think this is great for Leon Camier, because this is the first time since his Aprilia days that he actually has a bike that he can possibly challenge for wins with. Back in Aprilia days, I think he was a little bit too inexperienced, so crashed quite a lot. Chianari, on the other hand, great from a marketing point of view, as Kiko already said, but from a racing perspective, I don't think so. I think his best days are now behind him. A 3-time British Superbike champion, was top of the class back then as once a World Superbike races, but he drifted away. He was nearly a backmarker in British Superbikes the last couple of years, and then I know that he won the final round of the All Japan Championship this year, but I don't think he's done much else apart from that. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. So it's maybe he'll surprise me. Fingers crossed he does, because he's an exciting rider, very fast. I know I've always liked Chianari.
Fair enough. And a lot of people, I think he does still have quite a lot of fans over here anyway, from his time when he was racing over here anyway. So see what he does, I suppose.
The other rider, of course, we haven't mentioned, who's coming back into World Superbikes, Leon Haslam, but maybe not such a big name because he's British. Now, the problem World Superbikes has had for the last few years is it's been too British.
Yeah, it's not really a news story, that, is it?
No, but we've got Alvaro Bautista. We've got Alvaro Bautista coming in, Spanish rider. We've now got remind me name Chianari.
Oh, him, yeah.
Even I had a mind blank as well.
Literally 30 seconds ago. Excuse me. Chianari, Japanese rider coming in.
Oh, is it Japanese?
Xavi Forés, we hope he's going to be there. Spanish. Marco Melandri, Italian. Hopefully he'll get a ride. We've already got Van der Mark being a Dutchman. Got Toprak Mazgatlioglu, proved his podium pace. Turkish. We've got a bit more of an international front-running bit of World Superbikes, and arguably that's the bit that counts at the front. So, like I say, not only is World Superbikes putting names in, it's now pulling manufacturers in. It's causing manufacturers to switch, causing teams to switch manufacturers. It's bringing more nationalities in, but they're looking like front-running nationalities. It's looking like it's going to be a bit vintage this coming season. If Jonathan Rea is tackled from the start, he cannot be given 3 or 4 rounds.
Well, that kind of happened at the start of the season, though, didn't it? And then everyone just again, you're gone. Again,
but 3 or 4 rounds doesn't really matter where it happens in the season. It can't be given the momentum to build after 1 or 2 rounds. Pole positions, double race wins or triple race wins as it'll be next year. Someone's got to stop him.
Someone who will stop him? Will it be Leon Haslam? Will it be Chianari or somebody else? Or maybe
Bautista. I was the biggest, most anticipated arrival in World Superbikes in goodness knows how many years. Still a rider capable of top results in MotoGP. 12 top 10s he's had this year on an ancient Ducati. Fair.
I've got to agree with you on that one. I thought at the start of the season Alvaro Bautista was finished, he was done, but ever since I think round 5, round 6, he just got those results, and then what he done at Phillip Island on Jorge Lorenzo's Ducati just proves that he's going to be brilliant to watch next year. I cannot wait for it.
Let us know your thoughts if you tuned in to us live or not. Either way, we will read them and digest your thoughts and pour over any comments that you have to make. Hello to Mr. Wayne Douglas, tuned in. Hello, Wayne. Hello, John Provost. Hello to John Murdoch. Hello, Steve Buckingham. Hello. And hello to Stuart Everard, who's also tuned in at one point. He's probably tuned out now since we were talking a little bit about him. Hello, John O'Gorman as well.
About the team.
Well,
just to clarify.
Okay, the team. For those who joined us a little bit late then, there's been some big breaking news, I suppose, with regards to Everquip, which is, Kiko?
They will not be racing in the British Supersport Championship next year, but we are told they will stay in the paddock no matter what. So, in some capacity, we don't know where or what championship. Yeah, let's hope for a bit of a promotion. But
if you want to do any announcements whatsoever right now, Stuart, now is the best time to do it while we're on air. So, just saying.
Do you want to beg a little bit more? Is it possible?
Talking about BSB announcements, another possible little tease is that, well, there's been rumours, I'm sure that you've probably seen if you follow certain social media accounts, that there's going to be some sort of an announcement which could come as early as tomorrow morning. We don't necessarily know what this is or who. Of course, we have an idea. We can only guess. But if you know anything, then let us know. Because it'll be interesting to see, to read all the comments that come in and all the theories behind them. And then once this announcement happens, it'll be just interesting to go back and think, okay, you thought Shaky was actually going to be on a sidecar. Interesting. Which was a real suggestion once, I think, by the way. So we're hearing that there's going to be a big BSB announcement tomorrow. That hasn't, I don't think, have they confirmed that themselves? I don't know. I've not checked the website out, but
I see there is a team saying there's a 10 a.m. release. It's been on their Instagram.
Oh, is it? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I've been busy the last few hours, so I'm not all over Instagram. Been busy, see, with the Motorsport Awards. Yay, sorting them out this week.
Oh, there you go. There comes his little baby. How many months has it gone now?
It was something that was being planned last year. Let me tell you that. Yes, the Motorsport Awards, by the way. It has been launched now. So there's 37 different categories. I won't tell you. I won't go through them all. I'll just let you know that they are all there. The Motorsport Awards, and probably the biggest category that we are interested in is Rider of the Year. And nominations for Rider of the Year include Mr. Jonathan Ray, Leon Haslam, Jake Dixon, some say that's a good shout, Mark Marquez, maybe, Jack Kennedy, who knows? That's for you to decide. Also, there's 10 nominees, and Ryan Vickers nominated for Rider of the Year. That seems to be quite a popular one. Also, Pete Hickman. Now, he's been very, very vocal about the awards on social media, and he seems to be well supported, but as does Mr. Valentino Rossi. He's also been nominated for a Motorsport Award Rider of the Year, as is Ty Woofenden and Francesco Bagnaia. A little sort of sideways nomination there for the 2018 Motorsport Awards Rider of the Year. Well, how do you vote in the Motorsport Awards Rider of the Year, Kiko?
You can go to the motorsportawards.com website and you can check it out. It is only one vote each, so don't go making any more email accounts because we'll get you there because it's all based on IP addresses.
I will.
So anyone who moans about it as well, can we just get a basic understanding of, what it says, what we mean when it says sign in, you have to sign in. Sorry, but how else do you want me to say it?
So, keeping things positive then, if you want to vote for any of the... and that's just a small snippet of nominations that we've got. We will continue to tease you as the evening goes on. But yes, Rider of the Year, as well as all the obvious other ones, like Driver of the Year, the Star of the Future, as well, the Young Rider of the Year, a lot of mini bike riders in the Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship, which is itself up for a nomination for Best Championship. Can you believe it? Unbelievable.
It's all very exciting.
It certainly is. So the address you need to go to, and I promise you, it is fixed. If you couldn't vote previously for whatever reason, technical glitches aside, motorsportawards.com. Yes, that's the web address to go to. And a big hello to Stuart Everard once again, who I teased with if he offering the chance for him to make a big announcement. Well, he's been on. He's commented and he said, "Big news! Big news!" He says, "EverQuip Racing to win Team of the Year 2018. Thanks a lot, Stuart. Thanks for that.
I like that.
Yeah, no, seriously though, if you want to let us know what you're doing, or any riders themselves tuned in, we know a lot of people from the paddock tune in, just get curious or bored on a Thursday evening, and they wanted to let us know what you're doing, then you're more than welcome. And so don't forget to share as well the Motorsport Awards link. So that's all well and good. Back to MotoGP then, and it was at Malaysia, and so Kiko, why were you in Malaysia?
I don't know, just woke up one morning, I was in there. No, I went over to the Malaysian Grand Prix. It was a nice little off the cuff thing, I suppose. No, it wasn't really. I've been planning it for a while, and we ended up going out there.
Holiday number 900.
Thank you, Qatar Airways, for the very luxurious flights. They were brilliant all the way. Said I'd give them a shout out, as I said, what I do and what not. So thank you, Qatar Airways, for that. Bit of a rough flight though on the way back. So when we was out in
that's what's called a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough flight, but
thank you very much for keeping me alive, even though your flight was crap.
We must say though that it's not the staff's fault on turbulence. That's just something that happens outside.
You didn't have wind, did you?
I did, but I do believe that one of the other passengers did, and I'm not on about anyone specific.
Anyway, so what happened in Malaysia? That aside, what did you do? Where did you go?
MotoGP or
everything. What did you do? Why were we there?
I went to Sepang Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I must have grown about 4 feet. You know, I'm not even joking. Must have grown about 4 feet because there's that much rain and sun that you kind of photosynthesize.
It's not how people grow.
That leads to height growth. So I've been watered and fed out there, and on Friday I went to Sepang, Saturday I went to Sepang, Sunday I went to Sepang. Sunday, they moved all of the racing forward to accommodate it, and we never got any rain. No, to accommodate the rain. Oh. So it get rained on. That's where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
And instead we had scorching hot sunshine, over 110,000 people there. It was so busy. And in the end, it was quite a good race. But we ended up, unfortunately, my hotel shuttle didn't turn up. It said it was going to be there at 3 at pump number 3 of the Petronas petrol station, which is about 10 minutes walk away from the circuit.
Let it go, for God's sake.
We got there at 25 to 6. So, yeah, I was very unhappy at that. But I spoke to a very nice Indian couple from Bangalore, and they're saying now MotoGP is not as big as some people may think in India. So, the Indian Grand Prix rumour that we broke earlier on in the year might not be happening. But that's just what I think.
I think we're definitely that Indian Grand Prix now.
I think we could make an entire 2-hour show just from Kiko's travels, because he does enough of them, and he's got enough to review and complain about, basically. We should do like the opposite of a travel show, which is Kiko complains in various countries.
See, we've got a listener already. There's no problem with what we have. And also, can I just say, thank you, Doha Airport. Very, very simple. But your Wi-Fi is terrible. Literally.
Again, another backhanded compliment. Thank you.
Looking forward, it was the easiest airport to transit through, straight on the old internet, connect through my ticket and whatnot. Look forward to ringing the girlfriend, all for the 8 hours flight from Manchester to Doha. Get on it. Connecting, nothing. Send a message, it goes straight away. And should I just add, before I came on air, I was watching the world's weirdest flights, and my flight from Manchester to Doha to Manchester had some terrorist suspects on it. My flight from Doha to Manchester, the police raided it.
Episode 1 of Kiko's travel guide can be found on a podcast. Download it from all your best podcast providers there. This is the Superbike Show. This is Motorsport Radio. My name's Lester. Hello and welcome. You might not think it if you've just joined us, but we are talking about MotoGP, which is a bike racing championship, Kiko.
Oh, so we're on about them. Oh, sorry, I thought it was on about
I just thought I'd introduce, a brief, because you were there and it's unusual to go there.
See,
I didn't need a full
light. Getting ready to talk about the Petronas Towers and the Batu Caves and the 6
We're just out of time, I'm afraid.
Do you want me to talk about the Grand Prix then?
Yeah.
10 o'clock already.
You should have specified. It's a good point you say that. We are actually 25 minutes behind schedule. I don't know why. The Malaysian Grand Prix then. It looks like the adoring 100,000 odd people there, we're going to see Valentino Rossi win his first race of the year. There was a lot of people where I was wanted him to win his first race of the year, and right where I was, the Rossi stand there, he didn't win his first race of the year. In fact, he fell off. So instead of Valentino Rossi winning a race that he, for the first time in ages, looked like he was dominating, or at least had something in the bag, it was Marc Marquez who benefited from an uncharacteristic Valentino Rossi error. Marquez wins. Rossi crashed out. But Rossi, like I say, looking a bit more back to his best at a circuit he knows, a traditional Sepang circuit. He's rode so many times there. So Valentino Rossi gutting for him. But definitely Yamaha have turned the corner in the flyers. We'll come on to that a little bit later on. Alex Rins, fantastic second place. Another top job. He hasn't been outside of the top 6, I don't think, since Thailand. He's had 2 podiums in the last 2 races. Keep an eye on Alex Rins in the future. Just teasing that now. Zarco, another good ride from him. Qualified on second in the middle of the front row. Started from pole following a Marc Marquez penalty and finished 3rd. So podium for Yamaha in the end there. Alvaro Bautista, 7th. 12th top 10 of the season. Not far behind the next Ducati, which was Andrea Dovizioso, 6th. Now, you might think that I'm, again, a bit of an Alvaro Bautista fan club member. Can I just point out, Dovizioso has won the last 2 Malaysian Grand Prix quite convincingly. So, Bautista is right on the pace on a bike that's a year old. Just think what we could do with Jorge Lorenzo's factory bike. Happy Shirin. The crowd were going crazy. Qualified last in conditions where the fish, as these nicknames should be half decent, came across the line in 10th. Fantastic comeback. So Happy Shirin, ride of the day for him. Ian One crashed out again. Danny Pedrosa, 5th in his final Malaysian Grand Prix, of which he's won 3 times previously. Looked a bit of a dark horse when he started making his way through. KTM, terrible showing. Embarrassing showing. 15th place for them. They need to do better. I'm leaving it at that. Tom Luthi still hasn't scored any points. But Stefan Bradl beat his LCR Honda teammate Takaki Nakagami to 14th place, Nakagami 15th, and Bradl got some points on his MotoGP return as a replacement for Cal Crutchlow. So lots of different news stories. Should also say that Jorge Lorenzo started the weekend 3.5 seconds off the pace, went to 5 seconds off the pace, replaced by Michele Pirro, who crashed it anyway. So Ducati, not really the ideal weekend for them in Malaysia. Here we turn to Valencia for them. Well, it's another circuit where they failed to do much in recent years.
Yes, very interesting indeed. You mentioned there Alex Rins, ones to watch, or the one to watch, or a one to watch anyway. Liam, Alex Rins, your thoughts?
Brilliant rider. Now, I think he's going to be someone that's going to be great in the future. The Suzuki, though, is going to lose its concessions next year, and the last time they'd done that was last year in 2017. I don't know if they will be able to continue pushing on forward with the development of the bike, as in 2017 was a horrible year for them. No podiums. Ian One crashed everywhere. Rins was his first rookie year. He could, if Suzuki have the bike next year, he could definitely be a title contender, but I would probably not put that much pressure on him at the moment. Let's see if he wins a race first. But definitely could be up there. Johan Mir, who's going to be his teammate next year, could push him as well, but he's not done too much in Moto2 this year, so it's going to be very interesting. But fingers crossed we have someone up there to challenge Marc Marquez.
Yes, I would say that, but I think we automatically sort of expect that will happen anyway. So, I mean, I'm guessing. I mean, we're not really that concerned that it won't happen.
everyone else just needs to stop crashing. And then we will have a challenger for Marc Marquez.
True, yes. And, shame about Rossi, though, wasn't it?
It was awful. Now, Kiko, you said you were in the stand for when Rossi crashed. I actually saw a video today of the stand cheering Rossi as he came out of turn 1. 4 laps to go. It looked like he might have gained an extra 10th that previous lap. They're both slower than they had been for the rest of the race. And then all of a sudden, he went, and everyone just went, and then heads in their hands. Couldn't believe it. So it was gutting for Rossi fans, for MotoGP fans, really, because it was looking like the two of the greatest we've seen in recent years were going to battle out again for the race win at Sepang. And it's just annoying we didn't get to see that.
The thing for me that was doing it, the crowd, the atmosphere in Malaysia was absolutely insane. But given the history between Marc Marquez and Valentino Rossi, given the history between those two on that circuit, had that gone down to the last lap, I don't think either of them would have won anyway. I think Alex seemed to be laughing all the way to the top step. It was just looking to be and building to be one of the best races we've probably going to see in recent years, on one of the best circuits we've seen on the MotoGP calendar. It looked like it could have been phenomenal, but he's just robbed of that grandstand finish. And I very much doubt Valentino Rossi's going to take a race win in Valencia. Hasn't won there since 2004. Couldn't believe that when I was looking at statistic up earlier. 14 years. How many races? Over 100 races.
I agree with you. I don't think he'll do it in Valencia. Yamaha don't tend to be that strong at Valencia. I remember last year, for example, Rossi could only get 5th. Vinales was down in 12th or something like that. So it's going to be quite difficult for them. But we were all just so hyped for that massive fireworks display between Marc Marquez and Valentino Rossi, because every time they clash, it's just great. So Marc Marquez, I don't know if he would have gotten close enough to Rossi. I know he was edging in as the race went on, but I remember him saying after the race he saved about 10 crashes on his elbow trying to chase down Rossi. It was just that Rossi lost rear grip towards the end of the race, which he never thought he was doing, because Marc Marquez thought that Rossi looked really good under acceleration, because the Yamaha, or especially Rossi's side of the garage, they think might have actually come up with a solution, but we're going to have to see in Valencia if they really have done.
Yeah, I suppose.
Can I just quickly come in? Another thing I was going to say about Valentino Rossi, had Marquez had that moment at turn 1 that Valentino Rossi had, Marquez probably would have saved it. So
I was just going to suggest that. I mean, was it potentially a Rossi? I mean, could he have, I don't know, maybe done something to avoid having that crash? Maybe that would have been really interesting to see whether it was maybe just putting, I don't know, a bit more pressure on Rossi to perform and keep, and yeah, I suppose just keep. Keep that lead. Being distracted. Would we have had a different opinion, a difference of opinion, if it was potentially Marquez who had done the same thing? Would he have kept it? Would he have saved it? Let us know if you have any opinions on that whatsoever, because we are interested to know. Right, this is the Superbike Show on Motorsport Radio. My name is Lester. Thank you very much for tuning in. And right now, we are going to highlight some of the other great racing that we have seen in 2018. And talking about the Motorsport Awards, before we go to that, actually. The Motorsport Awards, in relation to mini bikes, for example. Cool Fab Racing, we mentioned them earlier, are up for the nomination for Best Championship. You can head to motorsportawards.com and nominate those. There are lots of fantastic top talent and stars of the future in Cool Fab Racing, and that is itself a category where you can nominate riders Star of the Future, motorsportawards.com. And also the Young Rider of the Year. So these are riders who are 16 years or younger, up for these categories. And if you are not really clued up about, for example, mini bikes, Stars of the Future, well, all season, the Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship has been in action let's say, and they've been doing a fantastic job. And right now, here is a bit of that action. This is coming from, I think, Tattershall, the last round at Tattershall, filmed brilliantly by TDI Media's coverage of it. You might recognise a couple of voices. It's Dan Marr and Kiko Giles on the old commentary box, and it's the final of the season
a bit of debris already
in the pit bike
making quite a lot of contact
and moto team category. And this is the sort of brilliant racing that you get from Kofab. Let's have a listen to some of this. It came down to the wire between Jamie King and Harvey Claridge
is leading. Jay King going into second
in the championship.
Exactly what he needs to do now. Put the flag out now, and Jamie King holds on to his pit.
But Max Cook kind of, some might say, got in the way a little bit.
Lower than second if Harvey Claridge wins this race. So Claridge leads Jamie King, and in third place is Sam Clouse. So everyone else just coming through is all a bit bunched up at turn one. We couldn't really see how it all planned out. I think Sean Whittaker is there in fourth place. We're going to run across the line now. So across the line has gone Claridge, second place is Jamie King, third place Sam Clouse, fourth place is Sean Whittaker, fifth place Felix Hearn. So great start from Felix Hearn as well.
So Felix Hearn, great start. Harvey Claridge though 2.5 seconds in the lead ahead of Jamie King, who just needs to stay there. I've got my few points on him in my Motorsport Radio Predictions League. One of the things we would suggest you go and sign up to. And Jamie King in second place then, well on course to hold on to his championship from last year. Sam Clouse third ahead of Sean Whittaker, Felix Hearn fifth. Max Cook, great start into sixth place. Fraser Kinnaird, Bernie Hook, Henry Meduse, Simon Clouse, Zasher top 10, Connor Jackson.
As you say, it's been a determined fight back from Jamie King this round. Claridge has been on fire throughout Saturday and coming into Sunday, and leading by the gap he does. King needed this result, and it's a result he might just keep, as he's under threat now from Max Cook.
He's been passed by Max Cook, in fact.
Max Cook has gone through now. The interesting thing here is Max Cook was much quicker than Harvey Claridge in the first part of this race. So Jamie King, at the moment, would lose this championship by 1 point. That is what it comes down to. So, if Max Cook can get ahead of Harvey Claridge, then all of a sudden, Jay King can breathe a little bit easier. I've got to say, I'm mega impressed with Sam Clouse. Sam Clouse has had a fantastic weekend here at Tattershall.
Well, a fantastic weekend for Sam Clouse, winner in race one this weekend. And his father Simon winning in the moto team as well. A very happy Saturday for the Clouse family. Harvey Claridge was 3.4 seconds ahead of Max Cook. Harvey Claridge, though, over the line. So too is Max Cook, new fastest lap, and 2.8 seconds, so the gap is closing in. Jamie King very comfortable in third place, but Sean Whittaker's passed Sam Clouse now for fourth place. Championship permutations is if Max Cook can get past and stay there, that really will put Jamie King in a good position.
Sam Clouse has just retaken Sean Whittaker down at turn one, so good move from Sam Clouse. Let the brakes off, was bold and brave, it made his presence felt on Sean Whittaker. Whittaker had to pick the bike up, had nowhere to go. Simon Clouse fighting his way through the field. I think he has got, say, who's he got ahead of him? I think it's Jason Pugh. He's got one of the other moto team riders. It's the 37. Well, we haven't got that on our timing monitor, but Harvey Claridge still leading for Max Cook as they all feel their way through this race. Max Cook, has he got anything to give Harvey Claridge? The gap is 1.8.
As you say about the moto team battle, it's a real good effort from Simon Clouse again to lead, but a special mention to Fraser Kinnaird. An amazing start for him, pushed him all the way into the top 10, and although he has just had Bernie Hook appears to be separating the two now, he was just behind Simon Clouse and almost fighting for that moto team lead.
Simon Clouse there in 7th place, so he's got work to do from there, and he is already the moto team champion, so no need to worry for him. He's done his work for this year. Out front, Harvey Claridge, what's the gap this time? It is 2.2, so it's gone up a little bit. 47.9 for Claridge, 48.3 for Max Cook. So that is not what Jamie King needed to see, really. Max Cook has got to get chasing after Harvey Claridge.
And the battle still raging between Sean Whitaker and Simon Clowes. That's the battle for 4th place over.
A lot of riders, just to butt in here, you're not missing much, to be honest. A lot of riders tuned into this show quite regularly from the Cool Fab paddock in Moto Team, especially. Hello to Mr. Jamie King and all the Clouses usually tuned in.
Lap 5 at the moment, 8 to go, and it's still in the lead ahead of Max Cook, but Max Cook's got to put the...
Not racing, but usually a marshal at Cool Fab, Lee Clowes, the one-time giver of black eyes to Kiko. Lee nominated for a Motorsport Award for Marshal of the Year as well. So Lee does a fantastic job. She's usually on the checkered flag, which is there as we're listening to it right now. So this race then, the end of the Pit Bike 140 and Moto Team race, just go through it, recap, because I'm going to fast forward it a little bit because we got other things to talk about. What was the situation? Harvey Claridge, Jay King at the top of the championship, but it was what's his name sort of getting in the way.
We had Jay King leading the championship by 8 points, and we had Harvey Claridge in second place, 8 points behind. Max Cook, very fast rider, but actually not in the championship race. So Harvey Claridge is leading, Jamie King is third, and Max Cook needs to try and get in the way of Harvey Claridge's championship assault. So the points difference between first and third is 9. That means Harvey Claridge gained 9 points over Jay King. The gap was only 8, so give him the championship by 1. It went down to the last lap, as we will see in a minute for our visual radio stream viewers, and it was quite exciting. Won't want to give away the result, but yeah, all in all,
it was nail-biting stuff.
It really was.
Let's have a listen.
Gap not found coming through those corners, but it is extending only slightly.
Max Cook lost the front end there. How he held that, I do not know. He's pushing on. There is absolutely no way he's doing his mate Harvey Claridge a favour here. Max Cook wants to win this race. Now then, traffic. We've got a kilometre and a little bit more to go, and that is it. If Max Cook gets mired in this traffic, it may well just put pay to Jamie King's championship assault here. Harvey Claridge is looking on the inside, trying to get through the traffic. He hasn't done so. That has brought Max Cook right back into play. They're coming through turn 2. It is just a one big traffic jam. Harvey Claridge and Max Cook are staying together. Max Cook lifting up the back markers. This is incredible now. We've got every dynamic going. Max Cook's alongside Harvey Claridge. I thought he was going to go through on the inside. Harvey Claridge, right, now he's been cut by...
He's had contact, he's been pushed off.
Max Cook's through. Max Cook has saved Jamie King's championship challenge, and Harvey Claridge knows it. Dive bombs him at turn 7. Right now then, gloves are off. Max Cook is on the inside. He can't quite get through on Harvey Claridge. We're at turn 9. We have not got long left. Max Cook is trying to get the drive. He's not going to do it. Harvey Claridge is going to be the Pit Bike 140 champion across the line. Harvey Claridge has done what he needed to do. God. Max Cook, second place. Third place, Jamie King will come across the line. He will not
heartbreak
that he has just been thwarted, really, of the chance to be champion. There was only 8 points in it. Harvey Claridge needed to score 9 points, more than Jamie King. He scores 25. Jamie King comes home a disheartened third to be second overall. His Pit Bike 140 crown has been pinched from him.
Oh, it was brilliantly filmed by all season, or for the past 4 seasons, by TDI Media. Check out their YouTube channel for all of the Cool Fab Racing British Mini Bikes Championship action from 2018, 2017. There's a huge archive on there. Right, so that is, and also as well, you wouldn't have heard it, but Lee Clowes, as we mentioned earlier, nominated for Marshal of the Year in the Motorsport Awards. .com. She was also waving the flag there brilliantly, as she does, and basically keeping everybody in check. So sorry,
I feel a song coming on. Waving flag.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. No, it's not funny. It's not funny. You should be.
Yeah, I thought it was. I'm laughing at my own jokes. I do it quite a lot.
He does. Right, so this is the Superbike Show. This is Lester and Kiko, and Liam has stepped out for a moment, and hopefully we'll get him back later.
He did absconded.
And yeah, so What were we talking about now? Moto 2? Moto 3? Should we talk about Moto 3? Yeah,
let's do Moto 2. We'll quickly run through Moto 2. Of course, Pecco Bagnaia is champion. So that's the big news in there. There's a couple of other bits of news.
Rider of the Year.
Rider of the Year award. But apart from that, nothing really to talk about Moto 2. We've done the news. And in Moto 3, again, good race, but nothing really to talk about. All about Jorge Martin, champion in that class as well. So all 3 championships in the Grand Prix season going to the final round of the year. Also, it is all for pride and joy.
Potentially a good thing because it allows everybody to just de-stress and just have a pure, all-out, full-on race for fun, doesn't it? So,
yeah, and it takes the pressure off a little bit. Yeah, I'd go with that,
I suppose. Bagnaia then. Going forward, I mean, he's done the business, and also I'm sure he's super proud to be nominated for a Motorsport Award. Why wouldn't you?
No.
But going forward into next year, how will he do? Could he?
Well, he's going up with more confidence now, isn't he? That's the main thing. He's going up with a bit more confidence that, not that I'm sure he's ever lacking in it, but, with the confidence he can do it. He can do the job. He's going up as champion, the best Moto2 rider of the previous year. Comes up into a very good team in the Pramac team. He will be looking to be team number 1, I'm fairly sure, ahead of Jack Miller if he can be. Keep an eye on Pecco Bagnaia. He will be on Ducati's shopping list. He has been for a little while, and his contract is with Ducati and not with the team. So at the end of the next 2 seasons, who knows where Pecco Bagnaia would be? I think he'll be up at the factory Ducati team, but that is just my thoughts.
Let us know if you have any alternative opinions, which you're allowed, but not your own facts. Just thought, I don't know where that came from. But yeah, let us know if you tuned in. Hello, Bert Taylor, tuned in at one point. I don't know if he still is. Hello, Thomas Strudwick as well. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. We want to know a lot about what you guys think, especially if you've got any cheeky breaking news, which we had a little bit of, although I rather think it was some sort of ruse, potentially to just maybe get us talking about EverQuip, because they might not actually be leaving, even though you sort of broke the news that they are leaving, but not quite, because they're going to be there
only leaving Super Sport, in another class.
So it was kind of a cheeky little tease there, because we thought we had some full-on breaking sensational news, but it was just probably more likely that they're just moving class, which is it sounds like a more accurate thing to say. Correct me if I'm wrong, Stuart, if you still tune in. There'd
be a welcome addition to the Superbike class.
Well, I said it earlier. I said, that basically. Who
will they run there? That's the question.
Well,
if they're there or in stock 1000.
That is a good question. And since we're live and looking for your comments and answers, let us know if Stuart, if you tuned in,
or Carl.
Or anybody, really. You don't even have to, you don't even have to be within the in the know. You can just let us know who deserves maybe to get potentially. Let's just say that they're going to do that in BSB, just as a theory. If that is the thing, anyway. If they're moving up to BSB, and I have no idea if they are or not, but let's just say for argument's sake, that is going to be a thing. Who would you put on the bike? And why, maybe? Let us know. Get in touch.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, let us know.
Right, so moving on to Moto 3 then.
We've just done Moto 3.
All right, I was looking at Moto 2. I was paying attention, Duck.
Dear, dear.
Fair enough. Okay then. World Superbikes. And what's all this about their calendars? I've been hearing a lot about controversy.
Controversy? Tell you.
Yeah.
Got a little bit. It's news, but again, World Superbike's been a little
Is
bit
it rumour or news? Because I've not seen this confirmed.
It's not been confirmed, but the source that we have,
there's been
MCN,
reporting.
It's been reported by Greg Haynes, who is very established in the World Superbike paddock, so you think everything he says is the gospel. But
so if this is wrong, we're all blaming Greg.
Greg, yes. Jerez is on its way back into the World Superbike calendar. Interesting. Kyle Army, thank the heavens, he's finally coming back. Subject to confirmation, or to be confirmed. Donington Park and Laguna Seca are on the calendar.
Of course.
To be confirmed.
Well,
Laguna Seca's actually put a statement out saying it's not going to happen at all. So a little bit.
Donington, definitely, I can see that. But
either way, the season starts and ends like this year with 2 flyaways. So there's starts in Phillip Island in Australia and in Chang International Circuit in Buriram, Thailand, and ends at El Villicum in San Juan in Argentina, and Lusail
what do you mean,
Lusail International Circuit in
You've come back from
Lusail
Malaysia with an accent.
Qatar. No, because the city that Lusail is in is Lusail. So,
sorry.
you know, come on, just thank you. I know, Leslie, you've never got
Sounds
further
culture.
than Canada. Yeah. So, do we need another episode number 2 of Leicester's foreign trips to Canada?
Anyway, sorry, what was you saying about something?
Nothing. I was rudely interrupted by your incorrectness at the end of there. But that was fine. It starts and ends with 2 flyaways. That's all I was saying.
So, Liam, Laguna Seca then, welcome back, by the way. We didn't...
Glad to be back.
It's okay. Laguna Seca then, what is going on? They've said they're not on the calendar. They don't want to, I'm not quoting them exactly, but the rumour is, based on reporting, which is unconfirmed, that Laguna Seca is a no. They've apparently said no. But it's what's going on, and let us know what.
I think basically it's because they are deciding to bring back the IndyCar to Laguna Seca. So IndyCar is massive over in America, is starting to broaden its horizons to Europe, and I think Laguna want a bit of the action of the revenue of what IndyCar have got. So I think that's why they aren't keen on bringing World Superbikes back for
Sounds
another
like a
year.
money sort of thing, to be honest.
Yeah, it does.
It's the sort of thing that maybe Bernie Eccleston might have done in Formula One, where like he's said something, and then the circuit said, well, hang on, we've not agreed to that. And then they're like, but yeah, come on, we've already announced it now. And money has to be, it sounds like that kind of situation.
Yeah, well, because obviously over in America, IndyCar is definitely going to generate much more money for Laguna Seca than World Superbikes is. But World Superbikes is big, but it's not IndyCar big over there, so you'll definitely get more bums on seats with IndyCar.
Will Superbike burn?
Yeah, don't mean it to be, but if they had maybe some more American riders, then World Superbikes would be up there.
I tell you what they do need is some good world feed commentators, Kiko.
They do, but what have they got at the moment? Tom still doing it?
Tom
still there?
Brooks, yes.
Yeah,
co-founder
of course,
of
on
Motorsport Radio.
Media production line, and one of many.
It's funny you should mention. But yeah, no, Tom Brooks, I suppose, yes, people in the Cool Fab paddock will know 2 years ago he was commentating on Cool Fab Racing, being produced by Motorsport Media, and helped co-found Motorsport Radio, and then he got scooped up by Dorna to go and do some media stuff, which eventually ended up with him being the lead commentator on World Superbikes for their world feed, and also last year's Cool Fab commentator, Tom's replacement, Alex Raby, this year has also been scooped up and taken to Dorna. So, we're like a little talent sort of conveyor belt here at Motorsport Media.
Conveyor belt. Baggage handlers.
Preparing them nicely, then send them off.
Basically. I could be wrong. It could all come crashing down around us. But so far, so good, I suppose. So,
commentator curse there, Lester Fox.
You would know, wouldn't you, Kiko? You would definitely know about that.
No one else from Motorsport Radio is going to go and work for Dorna, now you've said that.
This is it. The only commentator here is me, and by that I mean common spud.
That aside, to be honest, I mean, we talked about it earlier, or you did anyway, that World Superbike seems to be on the up. They're making all the kind of right steps. They're not going backwards, are they? That's the kind of general consensus that I take away from people's vibe when they talk about World Superbikes now. They're generally positive about the future. Would you say that's right, Liam?
Yeah, I would say that's right, because I've I think always adding more races into a weekend always does help, and having a second race on a Sunday again is brilliant, because I think it was always better to have a second race on a Sunday. The thing that I think they do have to sort out is the calendar and the massive gaps between races. I think at one point in the season there was about a 3-month gap, 14 weeks or so. It was roughly about that. And to be honest, I completely forgot about World Superbikes even existed at that point. So I don't think I was the only one.
I might have said it on the show that because when they came back, I don't know what I was doing, but I was like watching some other motorsport, and I didn't even know it was back, to be honest, from their return. I don't even know what circuit it was, and then when we were planning for this show. As we have production meetings, believe it or not, to plan how professionally this slick operation usually goes, and then I clearly just realised that I'd missed it. So
yeah, the thing was, it came back on. You going, oh wait a minute, how many races have I missed? How many rounds I must have missed 2 or 3 rounds.
I thought it was me, to be honest, because my head was like elsewhere. But no, they'd just gone for like 6 years, and then they came back all of a sudden. Yeah,
I think the funny stat is that there's a smaller gap between the last round at Doha than and the first round of 2019 than there was between the summer break. I think there was a bigger gap then than there is now.
Is that true,
between races?
Not sure, but I am looking at the proposed 2019 calendar put together through MCN Source's official calendar, expected imminently.
Blame them.
It starts on the 23rd, 24th of February. 16th to the 17th of March, we go to Thailand. 6th to the 7th of April, we go to Spain. 13th to the 14th of April, we go to Holland, Assen. 11th to 12th of May, we go to Italy and Imola. 8th to 9th of June, we go to Spain. So there's a bit of a gap there. 22nd to the 23rd of June, it's Misano. Now we have 3 races on the bounce coming up that are to be confirmed. Donington Park on the 6th and 7th of July. Kyle Army on the 20th and 21st of July. So the UK and South Africa. And the 17th or 18th of August is Laguna Seca in the USA. But if none of them go ahead, they've got 22nd to the 23rd of June at Misano, and then a massive gap to the 7th to the 8th of September for Imao. And then 28th, 29th of September, we go to France at Magny-Cours, and the season ends on the 12th and 13th of October in San Juan, and the 26th and 27th of October in Lusail at the Lusail circuit. But there's a rumour we're going to put out a little bit prematurely. Some German website called Speed Week, which is very heavily backed by Red Bull, suggests that now this is not a big motorsporting country. The Sokol circuit, the proposed Sokol circuit in Kazakhstan.
Oh yeah, I know it well.
Oh,
it's going to get a run out. So interesting to see what they do there. I know that circuit. The main ethos behind it is they want to be a little bit like Qatar and become a bit of a destination Grand Prix and increase tourism overall in the country. So interesting to see how that does. Not sure they can mirror image it, because Kazakhstan is the largest landlocked country in the world, considerably bigger than Qatar. So you can't see exactly all the cities in Kazakhstan that you'd probably want to visit. Unlike Qatar, there's one main city, Doha. You go there and spend time. So whether it's going to work for Qatar overall, for Kazakhstan overall, I don't know. But it could certainly work regionally. I think the circuit's not far from Almaty, the former capital, because the new capital is Astana, and it's not really near anything. So interesting geographical information there about Kazakhstan. Probably work regionally within the country, maybe not for the country overall, but that's if they get a World Superbike round. We don't know yet.
Liam, what other circuits then should the World Superbike paddock be attending, if at all?
I think the one that's missing massively has got to be Monza. It was a cathedral of it wasn't a cathedral, that's Assen, but Monza was always producing great racing. And to be honest, that's another thing that I was 2 years ago, I realised that Monza wasn't on the calendar anymore. I think it's been off the calendar for about 4 or 5 years now. So
was the official reason for that not being on the calendar the runoff? Because I know there was a bit of an issue with, because they did configure that whole sort of parabolica last corner. Is that the last corner bit? And I think they did that for the World Superbikes, and for whatever reason, I don't know if that was the reason why they didn't go back for the runoff, or money, I don't know.
I remember there was talk a couple of years ago of them missing the Curva Grande and actually making like going into the forest a little bit more and then make another wee chicane, but that never went through, and that was another plan to bring back World Superbikes to the circuit, but as we all know, that didn't happen and World Superbikes haven't returned. But I think it's one of those circuits that does need to return. But once again, if MotoGP are going to Indonesia, then World Superbikes should go there as well. It would just be great for the sport and obviously broadening their horizon to other corners of the globe.
Now, Jay King, the former pit bike champion in Cool Fab, and narrowly missed out.
Emphasis on former. If you want to underline it.
Sorry, but we did just hear an epic, epic commentated final at Tattershall just a moment ago. Anyway, Jay's been on, and he says, Liam, Keo back to Superbikes. Why?
Some people asking that.
His day has gone, he says. That's what Jay King says. What do you... I think I asked you earlier, but tell me again.
I tend to agree with that, and I think his days are behind him. 2014, the year that him and Shaky Byrne were going for title number 4 in BSB, I think when he lost that, due to breaking his collarbone in practice at Brands Hatch, he just never fully recovered from it, and yeah, his best days are behind him. I mean, as I said, the end of his BSB career, he was a backmarker pretty much. He wasn't even making it past Q1 in qualifying to make it into the top 20 at that time it was. So it was an interesting move by Honda, but understandable if they want to market them coming back into World Superbikes full time. But again, I think there are better riders now out there that should have that ride.
Oh.
Wouldn't surprise me, just whilst we're on about that, Honda, major manufacturer in the world of motorcycles, very much putting a lot of pressure on whatever, if they need a decision to be made. Don't be surprised if in a couple of years we get a Japanese round of World Superbikes. We haven't had one since goodness knows how long. Sugo in 2004.
Is that how long ago that was?
I honestly cannot believe we've
Isn't
got
that the name of your
14
dog?
years. It is the name of my dog, Sugo. Yes, it is. You're
a round of World Superbikes on your dog.
Literally, that's why we call it. It's quite a catchy name, actually.
Did you name your dog after your favourite ever race or something?
No, it's just that I think Sugo's actually quite a good circuit. A little bit on the unsafe side if you put modern World Superbikes out there. But I honestly don't see why we can't have a Japanese round of World Superbikes. Kawasaki are Japanese, Yamaha are, Suzuki are if they come back. You've got Honda now putting a full factory effort in. Maybe Twin Ring Motegi, Honda owned.
I think it's funny you should mention Suzuki and World Superbikes because there's talks that Tenkate, who have now departed from Honda, might actually go to Suzuki, which will be brilliant because Tenkate have also obviously won World Championships in Supersport and World Superbikes. Obviously, James Toslin back in 2007. Having them team up with Suzuki could be great for the championship, could be great for both sides.
That'll be... one to watch. Certainly interesting. I've been keeping one eye on some of the comments that have flooded in as well. Hello to Gary Brook, who says regarding, I think it was regarding when you were talking about the World Superbike calendar earlier, Liam. He says, Liam, IndyCar are going to Austin as well.
Forgot about that one.
Yeah, it'd be good to see World Superbikes at Austin. Which it's an interesting one. It's obviously we can't tell if it's a great track for MotoGP yet because Marc Marquez just tends to dominate and run away with the races. So it'd be interesting to see how World Superbikes would do at Austin. I don't know if it's brilliant for motorbike racing. Obviously, a lot of runoff. The first section is great, but there's too many tight, slow corners, first gear corners.
At last, someone with a brain finally comes on this show. Said this so many times. Too many first gear corners. That's what
kills racing. It strings them out.
Well,
you know what? Herman Tilke needs shooting for that design.
Oh dear God!
Terrible. First section, fantastic.
Hello.
She gets to like turn 10.
Oh dear God!
Why not make that sweeping left-hander?
Hello, Circuit of the Americas, if you tuned in, and good evening, Ghana. How are you?
No, if we're going to have an American World Superbike round, Laguna Seca would be ideal, but there's loads of other circuits in America. Barber?
Barber's another great one. Road America is way too unsafe for World Superbikes.
Road America would be a good circuit.
It would be, but you'd have to extend a lot of runoff there, but a great circuit nonetheless. Laguna, I always loved Laguna as a circuit. The only thing I had a small problem with was that when MotoGP were there, Moto2 and Moto3 never went, and when World Superbikes were there, World Supersport wasn't there, so it's the only downfall of that.
You like a good package.
Yeah, I tune in for everything, not just the main show.
That's good. I know what you mean. when there's less of the support categories turning up, you feel like there's less of an event.
You feel robbed a little bit
sometimes, especially if you're attending events as well. Like sometimes I know a lot of people go to BSB to watch everything, and sometimes the sidecars aren't there, or that sort of thing. So it's. I'm not saying I go to BSB for the sidecars, but just
here's something then. Oh. World Superbikes needs an American round. Okay,
does it?
Call me crazy. Why don't we hold one? Why do we not hold one on the same weekend as the Indy 500?
Because
in front of that massive crowd on the.
Do you mean at the same circuit? Have like
on the Indy 500 on the Indianapolis circuit, the infield circuit.
Oh right, sorry, I thought you meant on the same weekend as.
No, same weekend, but infield circuit.
That's an interesting point.
Do you mean, but which would be the support race? Obviously, World Superbikes, and they would never be a support race.
No, but they'd be a support race, surely, if it was in front of a 400,000 capacity crowd.
No. There would never, ever be a support race. Otherwise, they'd be on MotoGP as a support race, wouldn't they?
I don't think that's a bad thing, personally, but that's me.
There would be far too much you'd have to change in the track on that day, but 2 weeks before that, they run the Indianapolis GP. The Indy cars use the infield section. You could run it then. Yeah,
literally the old configuration Formula One thing, if you know about that. Excuse me.
I'm just someone's eye-sided. Leicester's Brexited. Goodbye, Leicester. Where has he gone?
I need winding. Sorry. That was water. I've got through me water. That's what it was. It was sorry about that.
Sounds like the water that's difficult going through you, I must admit.
Anyway, yes, I should say, no, it was a comment from Sam Clowes to say, hi all. Gary Brook suggests regarding American circuits, Barber, as I think was already suggested as well.
Fantastic circuit.
Grant Hodgins as well, been on. It says Sonoma Raceway for World Superbikes.
Great circuit.
Looks a decent circuit.
I agree with that.
And also suggests.
Yeah, there'd have to be a bit of track changes. I'd probably say it's Sonoma, but a brilliant track nonetheless.
Yes,
it is indeed. And if you have any alternative suggestions, then let us know. Any serious ones as well, not like what Kiko comes up with. But anyway, so this is Motorsport Radio. My name is Lester. This is the Superbike Show. Kiko Giles also here. And for the first time ever, making his Motorsport Radio and Superbike Show debut, it is Mr. Liam Hodgins.
Hey, we got there eventually.
Yes. Sorry
he's got his teeth in again.
Thank you. And if you just joined us late and you don't know who Liam is, just explain yourself.
Yeah, so I've done a little bit of motorsport, wouldn't say journalism, but a bit of a podcast, bit of a YouTube on MotoView, and I've got a bit of a radio background, studied it for a bit, worked in some of the biggest radio stations around the UK.
If you say so myself, yourself?
Yeah, and now on Motorsport Radio, cannot beat it.
Yeah, career low light. Sure.
Career highlight.
It's good. Honestly, it is. You're more than welcome to come back on again. Now I see that you've made an effort and bought an actual microphone and know how to work it. Kiko.
Yeah. I still don't have a camera. I'm stealing this camera at the moment from my friends.
I still don't have a camera.
Steal it every single week.
But yeah, it's it's good to have you on the show. I suppose it's always good to have an opposing voice for Kiko's.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you invite me back.
The main presenter, of course, isn't really a bike person, so can't back any of his arguments up with what's that word begin with F for facts.
That. Yeah, I've got lots of facts. I've got like a big fact book I can't get to at the moment, so we'll get to it afterwards.
Where is my...
we don't need to see whatever it is you're going to do. But anyway, before we move on and talk about some other stuff like rumours, just a quick reminder, by the way, about the Motorsport Awards. Yes, already much talked about. Motorsport Awards, which launched this week, the finals launched or were opened this week on Monday. Well, what are the Motorsport Awards? Well, there's up to 37 different categories. The public nominated almost all of the finalists, by the way. So, in case you were flicking through the website, motorsportawards.com, and you thought, Why are they there? Or, more importantly, why am I not in that list? I'm a journalist. Then it's because public voted for him, basically, which means they didn't vote for you. But anyway, the finalists in the top 10 Rider of the Year in the Motorsport Awards are Jonathan Ray, Leon Haslam, Jake Dixon, Mark Marquez, whoever he is, Jack Kennedy as well. Interesting shout for young Jack. Would you vote for him? Have you already voted for one of these people? Only one vote per person, by the way. You're allowed, just in case. You wanted to maybe vote 1,000 times for Ryan Vickers, maybe. Or maybe Peter Hickman, popular chap on, especially he's been doing his level best to get the most attention for his nomination. And we thank you for that, Peter. But no word yet on Valentino Rossi. I don't see him retweeting the Motorsport Awards. But that's okay. You know what? It's Valentino. Ty Woffington, champion again this year, and lots of people were saying, how come you don't mention Ty? He's been doing a good job. Well, yes, he's been nominated for a Motorsport Award, and as has Mr. Bagnaia as well, maybe one of Liam Hodgins' I'd say personal favourites, maybe. I don't know. But those are the top 10 in the Rider of the Year category. Head to motorsportawards.com to cast your vote right now. And the polling closes December the 3rd, I think it is, at around 8 p.m. And it is all working now. If you were previously trying to cast a vote and it didn't work, basically there's been literally, I'm not even remotely joking, there's been tens of thousands of votes flood in already in the first 48. Since Monday, basically, and that was the reason why I think the website crashed a couple of times. Is because we just launched it. To be honest, didn't even know if anyone would vote. To be honest, because it was a new thing and nobody had heard of it.
British Superbikes have got on board with us.
Unofficially, they retweeted Peter Hickman and
Everquip.
Yeah, Everquip as well.
It's a start.
Yeah, I wonder why they did that, and then they announced that they're pulling out of their thing. Coincidence. Those things happened this week. But yeah, so we've had tons and tons of votes already in the Motorsport Awards, different categories, everything from Commentator of the Year, Kiko's not eligible.
Nomination, didn't I? Let's just be clear. I did get nominated, but I didn't do it. No. But I'm not allowed to be part of it for being
contractors. Contractors from Motorsport Media are ineligible to be nominated.
Could we have Could we have an award for the toothiest grin in motorsport? I think that would be a good one. I know Daniel Ricciardo would be up there, but there'd be a few others as well.
I could probably think of different categories that Kiko would definitely win, but
we could have celebrity lookalikes in motorsport. So Gordon Ramsay, Neil Hodgson is his photocopied brother. I think.
Interesting.
I don't see the resemblance.
I do. Look it up. Neil Hodgson versus Gordon Ramsay.
I don't see the much resemblance.
No, I do.
To be honest. But just incidentally, since we were just touching on Commentator of the Year, the bike world interest, Keith Ewan nominated as Commentator of the Year. That's a good shout. Whoever nominated
did that?
Various people, I think. Also, Fred Clark as well. He's been getting quite a lot of interest, let's say. Fred Clark, legend, of course. How old is he now? 83, 4?
Oh, I don't know. He's been doing commentary for 51 years.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's and he has
Walker territory right there.
He actually has a voice at the end of it. Incredible.
So yeah, he's been nominated, as has James Whittam as well. So another good shout. Yeah, there.
Jamie Whittam.
And that is, I think, it in terms of bike people who you might know. But yeah, Keith Ewan, Fred Clark, and James Whittam. Why not? Decent shout. But is there anyone on that list who you would have nominated if you could? Maybe. Let's say.
We can't nominate.
Well, we're judges in the Motorsport Awards, so it would be, I suppose, wrong of us to show favouritism. But since Liam, is he a judge? I can't remember.
I don't know. Have you made me one? No, don't trust me.
Well, I'm going to ask you anyway because I've not asked you, Liam. And I don't know if you voted or not. But if you have, tell us who you voted for. And if not, who might you vote for?
I've
Sorry
not
to put you on
voted
the
yet.
spot. Okay.
But I would vote for Fred Clark. I just love his commentary. And when you go to a British Superbike round or World Superbike British round, he is just outstanding to listen to. He is the Murray Walker of motorbike racing. It's just incredible to listen to. And I don't know how he does it. He speaks at such a pace. And as Kiko said, he still has a voice at the end of it.
Yeah,
it's madness.
For him to do that at, the longevity he has, the stamina he has at his age, and to still be able to understand him. Not everyone can understand commentators when they're talking, Kiko. And it's really, really, really not an easy job at all. Just literally saying what you see is not easy.
I'm gutted that Jack Burnicle's not on the list. I always love Jack Burnicle and what he has to come up with.
The commentator's job has changed so much, though, really, hasn't it? You've not just got to talk a commentary and say what you see. You've got to be an entertainer. You've got to keep people hooked in when the racing is a bit shit.
Yeah, and obviously give lots of facts. That would be your job, Kiko.
Which Kiko has lots of. But Grant Hodgins has been on and suggested maybe Gavin Emmett.
Good shout.
For that maybe.
Gav deserves it for being journalist of the year, maybe, because he speaks about 11 languages. How the hell does anyone learn 11 languages fluently, not broken English, straight off the bat? You just start talking Spanish, Belgian, French, Italian.
He's one of those commentators that makes a practice session in Moto2, which is rubbish right after MotoGP qualifying. If he was on it, interesting. And it's like, man, I could listen to you all day. I don't know how he does it.
We had best media talent, but most improved media talent, James Toseland by miles. He has properly stepped up this year.
I mean, yeah, when he started doing it, a lot of people were like, okay, but yeah, maybe,
if we were to broaden that out to the whole of motorsport, including Formula One, I would say Paul Di Resta. But I might just be a little bit biased.
I think you're a little biased with being from the Scottish neck of the woods.
Well, I like listening to him.
Is he a Glaswegian?
No, he's from Dumfries, I think.
There was something gave it away that he actually wasn't, and he doesn't always drink. That was the thing that did it for me.
Doesn't always drink iron brew.
That's it.
Anyway, Nancy Tunnell. Sorry, Nancy. She's been on and says, Fred Clark, I agree, but Whittam has the best laugh and gets so excited. Love him, says Nancy. And yes, an interesting one. And as mentioned earlier, all the finalists, or most of all of the finalists, were voted by the public, and that's why they are through to the final. And the winners will be announced on December the 9th. At motorsportawards.com and here on motorsport.radio, so tune in. Right, so back to the old bikes and stuff, and what are we up to now? Rumours and general bits of things going on, or have we passed World Superbikes now? Have we still got anything else to talk about in World Superbikes? Have we done it?
We've done almost all of it. We're going to do a little bit of World Superbikes BSP. Who did well and who didn't? Overachievers and achievers. And what about rookies? Let's have a little assessment of their season. So yeah, World Superbikes.
Okay.
I think we're still on with it.
All right then. So I guess what is it? Is it just the season overall then? In
yeah.
Okay. I guess we'll start with the new guy, Liam.
The new guy. Oh, it's put on the spot right at the start.
Why not?
So we're going rookies or the whole season in general? How was it?
We'll do achievers and overachievers and achievers start with, then rookies. So if we start with, say, World Superbikes.
Okay. Yeah, so Razgatioglu has got to be an overachiever. He was just absolutely brilliant this year. And looks like he could be a contender for 2019 in the class for race wins. Don't know about pushing for championships. Other rookies, for life of me, can't remember at the moment in World Superbikes who other rookies could have been. might need a bit of help with that.
What rookie is that?
I was about to say Loris Baz, but I forgot that he was with Kawasaki years ago, partnering Tom Six, so he's not a rookie, obviously. But Razgatioglu, absolutely incredible rider.
And what about underachievers?
Underachievers, as I said, I just can't remember any other rookies in the class that were probably that far down. Could Jake Gagne count as one? I know he'd done a few rides towards the end of 2017. Could he?
No, he'd be a rookie, I think, because he's first full time.
Yeah, so I would say he's underachiever. He never really improved as the season went on. He got some lower top 10 points finishes, but that was really the only thing he could write home about.
Oh.
So massive underachiever.
He was one of your ones to watch, wasn't he, Kiko, at the start of the season? Old Jake. Yeah.
No. Jake Gagne certainly wasn't one of my ones.
Sure, he definitely was.
You just called him ugly. That's all you did.
Oh, I never said anything, did I? Well, where's that come from? Hi, Jake, if you tuned in. I never said that.
Which you won't be, because you won't be able to understand English, because he's American and we talk a different English to what they do.
Wow.
He's got long hair, so that's a win in my opinion.
Apparently someone calling him names, that's the high crime. Followed by him calling him names. Oh, my God.
Okay, I'll do mine. Personally,
try not to offend anybody.
Overachiever this year.
In what? World Superbike.
World Superbikes, yeah. Overachiever. I feel like saying Michael van der Mark, third in the championship on a bike that this year we knew was getting better, but we didn't think it would take on the Ducatis properly. To beat one Kawasaki and one Ducati. But the Ducati that Conrad just emphasised won both of the opening races of this year. Fair play, Michael van der Mark. Consistency is key. 200 to 1 to win at Donington Park, race 1. 500 to 1 to do the double. And he went and done it. So incredible stuff really for Michael van der Mark. He's my overachiever. Underachiever. Where to start? Expected a little bit more. From I'll go with Yoni Hernandez to start with, actually.
Oh, I forgot about Yoni.
That's exactly what I mean.
I forgot he was there.
Showed any prominence. Never really. The only other ones I would say is Chaz Davies, just purely on the fact that they never looked like a championship challenge.
He did have a bit of an injury at the start of the season, which curtailed most of it, and then he got injured again when he went off to do some promo work. Ended up breaking his collarbone again. So, I would say he was underachiever, but then again, he was plagued by injury the whole season.
Most impressive rookie. I don't think I'm going to disagree with what you said, Liam. It's got to be Toprak Razgatioglu. That podium in Donington Park when he proper duffed up the works Kawasaki of Jonathan Ray. Fair play. Yeah, I enjoyed seeing that. So, yeah, World Superbikes, it had its moments this year. Let's hope for more.
Interesting. Just going back, just before we go on to talk about BSB stuff, Maureen Curran has been on. Hi, Maureen. Sorry for getting your name wrong. Just mentioned about Paul Di Resta, what you just mentioned, Liam. Paul Di Resta was born in Uphall, Broxburn, West Lothian, my hometown, says Maureen.
So, fantastic.
So,
yes.
Did not know that.
I actually think Maureen Curran is Paul Curran's mother. So I sat next to her.
Is that true, Maureen?
OMG Racing Fly OMG event.
Ooh. There you go.
Bit of knowledge there.
Keep it in the family.
The Fly OMG marketing campaign.
It's up for a little award.
Yeah, that's one of the. We definitely didn't run out of categories. No, certainly not, because one of 37 different categories. Marketing campaign of the year. Of which one of the shortlisted nominees is the hashtag Fly OMG marketing campaign as well. Will we be seeing more marketing from OMG Racing, potentially? I would almost bet
guarantee it
that we would.
We would hope so.
I can't say anything more than that.
Yes. Shall we go on to British Superbikes?
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Achievers. Overachievers, underachievers, and Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Liam.
Okay, so I'll start off with Rookie of the Year. It's got to be Taryn McKenzie. You can't look past it. The end of season he had was... I'm surprised he didn't win a race towards the end of the year, but then again, Leon Haslam was unstoppable. So he got so many podiums. He's going to be one to watch again next year. overachievers. I would, and to be honest, I might be really nice in this one, but I would say Andrew Irwin. The way he had to come from, he's never ridden a Superbike before, got thrown in after shaky burn, got badly injured, and he done an amazing job. Underachievers, Bradley Ray could be a contender for that after the start of season he had. Just as the year went on, he dipped down, especially after the Suzuka 8 Hour. And Gino Rea, I would say that he was a big underachiever as well. I know it's really bad to say it, but I was so looking forward to what he could have done this year, and fingers crossed. I know he's never really raced in British tracks before, but then again, he could be back this year, and hopefully it's a good season for Gino Rea.
What we would love to see, certainly, is Gino Rea fighting up at the front of the championship, and that could well be happening because, as we know, they've got Luke Mossey on board now, of course, and
there is an announcement due tomorrow from OMG. We know Gino is unconfirmed anywhere at the moment.
Yes, he's not yet confirmed. It might not even be him. It could be someone else.
I hope he's not watching this show.
He almost is definitely watching this show.
There's rumours that Dan Linford was going to OMG. That was a rumour.
I think that was in the silly season, though, when everybody was joining the team. At one point, they had like 15 riders for 2019 all joining them, and it was Mossy, Shaky was going to be joining them, and loads of different people, and but let us know, who would you put on that OMG bike? Have they even confirmed that they're having a second bike? I don't think that's even confirmed yet.
They've got an announcement. So whether it's a Super Stock 1000 announcement, of course they've got a Stock 1000 bike, or it's a Superbike, or maybe it's a title sponsor. We just do not know.
It's Gino Rea.
I have a strong sneaking suspicion for 2019 that OMG of either bike. Sort it out between yourselves, guys. But whether it is Luke, we'd love to see him back up at the front where he belongs, of course. We'll be fighting for a championship.
Yeah, I believe so. They look like they turned a corner in that last third of the year. So, yeah, I'm going to go on to do my Rookie of the Year, Overachiever and Underachiever. Rookie of the Year, can't disagree with the Taron McKenzie one at all. And I'll just echo your sentiments there. Taron McKenzie, definitely. Overachiever, Danny Buchan. No one thought Danny Buchan would be as consistent as he was. It was just at Thruxton, when he got wiped out, things started to unravel.
I'm not sure he had high expectations of himself, but
I think he did. But the team, all they aimed for were top 10. Yeah. Danny Buchan nearly sneaked a showdown spot. So, not many miles away. Looks the real deal. A couple of podiums along the way, as we say. So, for me, championship position doesn't really represent how well Danny did. So, if you look at his stats, he was never really outside the top 10 all up until Thruxton. No score in the first race of Cadwell Park when he crashed out of third. 8th in the second race, and then it just kind of petered out towards the end of the season. But Danny Buchan, for me, really is one to watch for next year. So massive overachiever in a way for 2018. Proved his doubters wrong, that is for sure. Underachiever for me, no questions, Dan Linford. The only factory team in that paddock, Honda UK. And
to be fair, he's had a lot of problems.
Yeah, but we know Dan started the season with a 4th and a 3rd. Right, it looked like it could be so good, and then just went away.
Yeah, he's not had a straight through run of it.
Okay. So underachiever besides him, Sylvain Barrier kept finding his namesake, always in the barriers. I'm sorry, but former European Super Stock 1000 champion, you expect something a bit more than a languishy. I'm not even going to bother counting that down. I might as well
maybe it was just a learning year for him.
Learning year, don't buy it. You've got talent, and I don't think it was a fantastic signing anyway.
We've seen that in the past with the likes of World Superbike riders coming over to British Superbikes. Giuliano, for example, couldn't hack it. Also, Noriyuki Haga a few years ago wasn't setting BSB on fire like we thought he would. So it's quite tough.
Last year.
Yes. But then it's quite difficult for the international riders to come over to BSB. I just don't think they realise how competitive the series is, and when you get over here they realise that how tough it can be,
and it's unique. Our circuits are quirky, and
And I also think that's how some of the British riders who have spent most of their life racing abroad, Georgino Reyes and possibly your Danny Kents, struggled a little bit because they're not used to this type of circuit. But then again, another year under their belt, they could be up there fighting for championships, fighting for wins.
Well, one rider who none of us have mentioned, Tommy Bridewell, had a fantastic end of season. We started off a bit slack, but
where will he go next year?
Well, Steve Wilsmore is very busy doing a bit of shopping at the moment in Bologna. He's buying superbikes, I think.
Ooh. So
yes, I reckon so. Moto Rapido Ducati team owner there. Lovely little hotel, actually, by the way. Near the Bologna,
thank you.
But near the Bologna Ducati factory, if he's stuck for food, Hotel Amadeus, their restaurant, Il Pavlaglione, very, very good carbonara.
Thank you. Anyway, some comments that come in from people tuning into the show and were previously enjoying it. Grant, been back in touch, says Luke Mossey for Underachiever of the Year. And we had Luke on the show a couple of shows ago. Was it the last show we had? We had him on recently anyway. And I think he's the first one to admit that, things did not go his way at all this year. And it was tremendous. It was, for fans of Luke Mossey, maybe you are a fan of Luke Mossey, Grant. It was almost heartbreak to see all the stuff he was going through and not able to get it together consistently. Andy Ashton been on, says Tasmac 95 for rookie. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
absolutely.
I
Why not?
won't disagree.
And Maureen been back on, and she confirms that yes, she did meet you on the Assen trip as well. Just regarding the whether it was the same Maureen Curran that Kiko met, and it was. So apologies about that, Maureen. I'm so sorry.
Shall we do some British Super Sport? Thank you. British Super Sport achievers, underachievers, rookie of the year.
Well, I don't know if you. I don't know. Is that like a touchy subject? I mean, we know a lot of people tune into the show. Do we? Up to you.
Should I go with mine?
Yeah, you go with yours, and then I'll monitor the comments to see
Rookie
that person who you've just slagged off saying, "Hey."
Rookie of the year, Brad Jones. Fantastic season, I think. Podiums.
Good guy.
Yeah. Brad Jones, really nice lad as well. Got a lot of time for Brad. Overachiever. Feel like I'm going to say Sam Wilford, because he's come back from 2 horrendous back injuries for a start. Come back quick. And towards the end of the year, very, very consistent on the IDWE Yamaha. But Sam Wilford, did get a podium. I thought he had a couple of podiums, one at Brands Hatch GP and the other at Silverstone. So Sam Wilford, a bit of a name that came out of nowhere, but yeah, definitely. Nice lad, not far from Brands Hatch itself. So yeah, overachiever there. I think he's come out of nowhere. Underachiever. Don't want to sound harsh on anyone here, so
well, we've had a couple of comments come in already, and maybe if you want to say, well, that's who you were thinking of, rather than you stick your neck out and
go on then, help us along.
But anyway, Phil Simmons has been on, and he has said for underachiever of the year in Supersport, Bjorn Esmond. That's what Phil says, by the way.
Yeah, not something I personally agree with. Bjorn had a tricky start to the year more than anything, but if you look at his results from Knockhill onwards, qualified really well and top 10s most of the time. So underachiever, no. It's overachiever, no, but it's a steady year.
Could have done a bit better.
Could have done better, could have done a hell of a lot worse. Yeah, I think that's about all we can say. Underachiever, David Allingham. Could we go there and say,
hi, David.
Should have been a bit further, but then again struggled on the new Yamaha, reversed back to the old Yamaha, and was working fine. So no real clear underachiever in Supersport. In fact, I'll go down to Kyle Ride. We'll go Kyle Ride. A lot of people expect him to come back, do a good job.
Okay.
Didn't really happen. So I'll stay. Final answer, Kyle Ride.
Okay. The fence shop phoned. They want their fence back. From you
they want it back so they can lend it to you again.
I'm I'm the presenter. Phil Simmons has been back on, and he suggested backing up his original claim that Bjorn Esment potentially, according to Phil, was the underachiever of the year in Supersport. He says also, well, look at Rispoli on the same bike.
Very true. It's very true. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's why we love the show. Keep it coming in. Exactly,
yeah, it does.
Keep letting me prove everyone wrong.
It does kind of feel a bit awkward, especially when it's hard to say negative things about people when we know that they're probably watching or tuned into the show.
Well, it's not that, but I wouldn't have personally said of all of the riders that Bjorn Esment was an underachiever of the year. I think that honour goes with Carl Ride. I think people expected a little bit more from him. Didn't ride the Halsall Yamaha particularly well.
Kyle Reid will be back. He is such a huge talent that he might have one bad season, but it's not going to last. And I expect him to be back.
Yeah, Kyle Ride, former racer in the Cool Fab Mini Bikes Championship, and graduate, and I'd say still doing the championship pretty proud, I would say. Any other comments or suggestions? Do we want to go into like stock? I don't think it's fair to go into like stock 1,000 or 600.
Hey, I would like to know your opinion on the Moto2 class being in with the British Supersport class. How long before that sort of transitions to just being Moto2?
They were talking about doing that sort of this year, but there wasn't enough. A lot of people, I think, were not happy about it, or they had a bit of life in the remaining bikes yet, sort of thing. Is that?
Yeah, because who is it is releasing a new 600 bike? Is it Yamaha?
Kawasaki,
yes.
The brand new ZX6. That'll go along with the brand new Yamaha R6. Then you'll look at the MV Agusta when it's working. It's actually a really nice bike. Honda,
so Supersport class isn't dead yet. Yeah,
exactly. But I've said this so many times. People go on World Superbikes and is dying out. World Supersport 600 bikes dying out. They're really not. They are not. People in Europe aren't buying them. So when you go to somewhere like Thailand, which is a developing country, and everyone's wages are getting a bit better, their money can go on to a 600 bike. Suddenly, strange enough, they do the exact same cycle people in the West have done already, buy more luxurious items and decide they want a bigger bike, and the 600 is ample out there. So the market is just elsewhere. We've got to find the market, which is why new markets, probably in the modern era, are so much bigger than they have ever been. It's why the manufacturers are desperate to go to Indonesia in MotoGP. Probably why they should go to Japan in World Superbikes. Vietnam, I don't think it's a million miles away. Malaysia for World Superbikes, go back there. India, massive sales over there. There's enough countries in that Southern Asian region that just crying out for a race, and because the manufacturers are selling machines there, especially 600s.
It doesn't really help BSB though, does it, if nobody's buying them over here? Yes, it's good that they're being sold over there, but it doesn't help BSB.
It does, because it means that the bikes are still being made, and that alone will keep people and teams over here wanting to buy them.
And obviously, what super sport bikes are a lot cheaper than Moto2 bikes to run and for parts. So it would be a shame if the super sport class were to go, because it's been a great class to watch forever. And Moto2 is an okay class, and GP racing it can be good, but I just don't see it catching on quite as well.
Yeah, I don't see it becoming the major thing unless it's forced to become the major thing, like it has with Moto Star, and it's kind of taken over there. I think in a couple of years, when the prices of all the Moto2s coming out of the World Championships have come down a bit, then we'll see Moto2 start to become a more viable option, because prices will come down, people will actually be able to afford them. Just my way of looking at things there.
Interesting. And if you have any different opinions and you're tuned in to us on this Thursday evening, or even if you're not, then we'd still like to hear from your opinions anyway. Get in touch with us at M Sports Radio on Twitter. It's Motorsport Radio on the Facebooks, and you can just leave your comment in the comments box below wherever you find this show, which is the Superbike Show. This is Motorsport Radio, and we having a good old debate, and I suppose about lots of different things. Interesting question that was, by the way, Liam.
Yeah, I'm always like to throw them out.
Yeah, why not? If it's interesting, then why not? So talking about just staying with BSB for a bit, then, if you've joined us late, then there's been, I wouldn't say breaking news. That was a bit of an over dramatization, I think, that we did earlier in the show. If you missed it, but there was a
journalist goes hyper. No.
A bit of news potentially regarding a future class of championship, basically. So just explain, Chico. Go on. Everquip have... Is this officially been announced now? Well, I suppose we announced it now, didn't we? So.
No, it has. It was on their social media.
Okay.
That EverQuip will not continue in British Supersport in 2019, but they will 100% be in another class. Or maybe even another category. Might not even be in British Superbikes. Maybe they will go road racing. Who knows? That is not me suggesting a fact that I know and can't say. There's lots of viable options in Britain outside of British Superbike Championship racing.
Well, EverQuip themselves, the company EverQuip, has a lot of international clients, I suppose. So it would make sense to do something. I don't know, maybe a support category on some European thing or something. I don't know. Well, it's up to him. Maybe we should just ask Stuart anyway.
Maybe World Supersport.
Who knows?
Maybe World Superbikes.
If it was World Supersport, I would have thought James Spoley would be staying because Dorna would love
an American. All ties in there, doesn't it? So,
but James Spoley's already said he's on the lookout for a ride, so I don't think he's going to be part of EverQuip anyway.
But has he said that?
Yes, on his Instagram.
Okay.
It could be the biggest porky ever.
His Instagram was a bit more clickbaity in the way it said EverQuip will not continue in 2019. I was straight on the text messages to Stuart Everard saying, "What do you mean you're not continuing in 2019? You've got to do this. You're Team of the Year."
Not in the official Motorsport Awards. It's not yet been announced anything just yet, but he is certainly nomination anyway for Team of the Year, which you can go and vote on motorsportawards.com. All up and running, working fine, perfectly.
If I ask an actual question, like I say, Scott, you know how we've got motorsport.radio, motorsport.media. Why isn't it motorsport.awards?
Because there is no .awards.
Well, could we not make one?
I hope so.
Okay.
Well, I did actually check for a .awards because that was going to be my next purchase. So, yeah. Since they didn't have one, and I looked on, since we're talking about domains for some reason, I thought motorsport.awards would be amazing to have. Next best thing would be motorsportawards.com. Obviously, someone's going to have already had that because it's just a great name. But no, and I thought, well, ding, 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 I'll have that. Thank you. And
how much did that cost?
Like 15 quid or something. It's not much.
That's pretty good.
And the Motorsport Awards was thus born.
You could sell it now. It's had so much popularity. You could probably make a nice little profit on it.
It is available to license because we also own the trademark as well. But that's business aside. Back to BSB and other rumours that we've heard. Have we heard anything at all? Anyone going in? Apart from, of course, the big rumour that OMG Racing seemingly announcing somebody doing something on their bike.
Yes, well, who knows? That's due out at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Let's hope that the press release is on time and whatnot. And, I'll be able to work out who's who and put some pictures and pieces together for the British Superbike Riders Jigsaw for the class of 2019. And
I'm sure if it is Gino Rea, he'll be definitely looking to impress Liam. Because
I'm sure he will.
Yes.
I'm watching Gino.
As is the rest of the BSB fraternity paddock as well, because a lot of they have turned a lot of heads this year. OMG Racing nominated for Team of the, are they in Team of the Year category as well?
I know. Is it they're up for 3 awards. I know they've been very vocal about that one.
I did see their tweet. I think it was their tweet as well for the categories that they were nominated. There's so many, to be honest, and there's like my head has been filled with different. Yeah, OMG Racing nominated for Team of the Year. I was right.
I never said you wasn't.
You made me doubt myself then. As is some car people. Everquip Racing nominated. So is JG Speedfit Kawasaki as well. We've not even talked about them tonight, to be honest. And OMG Racing UK. So and these were all nominated by the public, in case you are wondering, as to how they got into the final.
Say. We have no say.
Apart from we're judges and we have a say. But other than that, we have no say.
No, we don't decide who we have a say on.
I mean, we're not going to literally just like say, you know, hey, up there, JG or Everquip, you want to, you know, it's going to cost you.
You are in the nominations.
That'll be an interesting one if Everquip get voted as the winners and they're not even in the category that they were voted in anymore. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Scandal.
But
people
anyway.
would be outside with pitchforks and fire torches and ready to break the door down.
Kiko would for sure, because that's his paddock breakfast.
It's almost like
if they leave. That's why he was so upset.
It's almost like a city in the UK getting European City of Culture for 1 year, and the year before we've exited. So it's just Holland, whatnot. You know.
Other amazing categories in the Motorsport Award include TV production company. So if you like what maybe I don't think Eurosport were
North
nominated, but North One producing the TT coverage. I think they do.
Northwest 200 as well.
Yeah, that as well.
I think they produced BT. I think they did a BT Sport MotoGP.
I think it might be Greenlight. Do that?
Greenlight, yeah, it's one of them.
They do the MotoGP for BT Sport.
Okay.
So they're nominated, both of them, for TV Production Company of the Year, and it's really hard to decide, to be honest. Which is why you should decide. Go onto the website motorsportawards.com and decide. Yay! And check out the. All the other different categories as well. One vote per person.
Per IP address as well. So
Yes.
don't try doing it on a different device.
Yeah, and don't.
Dopey.
Yeah. So
that's me got my two computers and my phone ready.
I mean, you know, we should have done is put like tons of adverts. So all the like 50,000 votes that we get, they all get an advert and I get rich and stuff. But I didn't think of it.
Superbike show every week. That we can be bothered.
Oh, best race bike. You were just mentioning about bikes and stuff. I forgot what context it was. But there is a category for best race bike. Would you like to know, Liam, what the categories or the nominees for best race bike of the year? Well, it is the Ducati 2018 Demosedici.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. The Kawasaki ZX-10R. Potentially the best race bike of the year. The Honda.
There's a new one coming out of them.
Okay.
Which will now be the best race bike after that.
Yes.
Or will it?
We'll have to wait and find out.
Honda RC 213V 2018 version of that. Yamaha YZR M1. And,
really? Why is that on that?
Ducati Panigale.
What? Dope voted for that.
That's going to win now, and they're just going to blame the riders. Vinales will see it in Darko for not doing the business on it.
Ducati Panigale. I presume it's the most recent version of that. Panigale R. I don't know all the technical. You can tell I'm like not an engineer or anything. But yeah, best race bike. Check them out. Anyway, up to 37 different categories. You can have your vote. It's all free. Why not change someone's life?
Join the conversation.
Thank you, Clive. And motorsportawards.com. Check them out already. It's the awards that everybody seemingly is talking about this year. This week as well. Tens of thousands of votes flooded in. Not even BSing about that. Tens of thousands of votes, and it's only been going since Monday, really.
So bigger than the Grammys.
Well, on Monday it probably was. Anyway, so have we done all the latest BSB rumours? Is that all put to bed now? Have we done everything?
We do have a bit of news about Luke Hedges' future. So Luke Hedges had been a bit of an uncertain end to 2018, but he is on a Corby Kawasaki-backed Kawasaki in 2019, so in the Super Stock 1000 Championship. So great stuff there.
I did not know that. That's more new. That's
neither did I.
Yeah, you should have put that in the news, not the rumours.
I forgot.
Anyway, because that wasn't a rumour, I don't think.
No, that's fact. It's on his Facebook.
All right, fair enough. Well, good luck there, kid. Yeah, good luck. All right then. So I guess that brings us nicely then to the end of the show. Yay! Everybody says. Thank you very much, Liam, for coming on the show, making your Motorsport Radio debut. Hope you've enjoyed it. You don't have to.
I loved it. Thanks very much for having me on. Hopefully you invite me back. Welcome back.
You can come. Any time you want back on the show. I suppose
Before we go, Phil Simmons, and this reminds me, Everquip Racing not racing in 2019 in Supersport, but don't forget there was a photo put on Facebook, I think from Steve Wolfmore's account. He was in Steve, the owner of Moto Rapido, was in a meeting with Stuart Everard. Is there a bit of a formation coming? Are we going to have a bit of Everquip Moto Rapido Ducati? I'm not saying a word, but just to throw a spanner in the works. A big spanner at that.
That's definitely a big. That's definitely in the category. Remember,
there'll be a bigger spanner soon in a couple of weeks when I prove to be completely wrong. I'm sure.
I'm sure. I don't know if they're still tuned into the show, but if the relevant parties are, then let us know.
A meeting.
And that's it, really, for another Superbike show here on Motorsport Radio. Thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget, I know you do, don't forget you can download an audio version of the show, which, Liam, I hear some people usually refer to as podcasts.
I've never heard of that.
Exactly. You can download this show, take it with you anywhere you want, even to Malaysia, Kiko.
You can. I actually, do you know what? I'm not going to lie. In the hotel, I was doing my MotoGP Malaysian Grand Prix preview with the 24-hour audio service on streaming in the background. Very therapeutic.
Yes.
Just what you need, like when you're doing something and you need a bit of background noise.
It's a lot of Kiko's interviews on there.
That's what you want to do.
I'll be listening on the way to Valencia.
Oh yeah! I forgot to even sort of mention that. Sorry, Liam. That's
okay.
I hear you're going to Valencia soon.
Yeah, going on Tuesday. Going to see the MotoGP. Was there last year for the big showdown between Marquez and Dovizioso, and Dovizioso crashed right in front of us. A lap and a half after Marquez nearly decked it, and yeah. Cannot wait. Hopefully going to have some great racing. Might see a Danny Pedrosa win again, which will be great for his last ever race. Might even see a Zarco win this year because he nearly won it last year. Or maybe Yamaha will have turned a corner. Cannot wait. And we've got paddock passes on the Thursday, so might bump into a few people.
Nice. Cool. Did you get paddock passes, Kiko?
I do indeed get paddock passes. Very, very fortunate in that department, I am.
Yeah.
Just passes from multiple Grand Prix, but one pass per event for me.
Fair enough. Anyway,
stop throwing me under buses.
I will bid you a good journey, Liam, and maybe you can come back and report on it and take some pictures and bits of, probably not video. We're not allowed.
That's if I make it back.
If you make it back, and avoid all the places where Kiko tells you to go and eat. So
I wouldn't know anything about Chester. I'm afraid. I've never been there.
I've heard Chesty's Party Central.
Yeah, a bit of a party town. I bet it's not a touch on Cattolica, though. Saturday and Sunday at the Misano circuit. Oh.
Well, if I'm there, then it will be.
Oh, hello. Sorry, here we go.
I'm guessing, it's not just yourself that's going there? Is there like a couple of people going out there, or...?
Yeah, my family's come with me, unfortunately. So my dad and my brothers are a bit into bikes as well, and then my mum and sister are tagging along as well.
Oh, so. I thought you was looking forward to us coming out. I don't. Well,
I was sort of trying.
Well, at least I'm not going to. At least I haven't gone public with the decision that I don't want to just go. Oh shit! Right.
Sorry, Liam's family. Sorry you had to find out like that. But anyway.
They know that already.
Fair enough. But yeah, you can come back and certainly report on your adventures, both in the day and in the night as well, if you like.
Yeah,
love to get you back on. And Kiko, that'll be good to see what happens in the morning, I would say. Keep your eye out for the best place to check out all the big breaking news, the only place that you can check out in BSB, which is the BSB website itself, or their social media channels. Hello, BSB. And that's about it, really. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for being on the show. And don't forget, you can download it all live and listen back and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, and Motorsport Awards, motorsportawards.com. Thank you, and good night.